Alright, we'll turn this down for the video part. Alright. So we're going to review our slow level 1 moves. All of the slow level 1 moves. So I'll stand here-ish. And that should be good with the camera. Stand aside. Okay, so first we'll start with the arm undulations. With the arm undulations, the first thing that I want you to remember is that the wave of energy comes from the spinal cord and goes out through the fingertips. So I want you to think of the most important parts of your body as being these here that are closest to your center. So the shoulders, think in terms of the shoulders first. If you want to think of it as the shoulder pressing forward and then rolling back. Pressing forward, rolling back. Pressing forward, rolling back. Pressing forward, rolling back. You notice that by pressing your shoulder forward, it allows you to turn your elbow up towards the ceiling. In order to get your elbow in this position, your shoulder has to be rolled forward. So when your shoulder is rolled forward, your elbow is up towards the ceiling. And your palm is facing more or less the back wall of the wall behind you. As your shoulder rolls back, you can allow your elbow to roll down. But you don't drop it, so don't drop it. Just let it roll down a little. Okay, and so then the move just repeats itself. Shoulder rolls forward, elbow rolls up. Shoulder rolls back, elbow rolls down. Shoulder rolls forward, then elbow up, then palm back. Shoulder rolls back, elbow down, palm relax. Shoulder rolls forward, elbow up, palm back, shoulder back, elbow down, palm relax. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Shoulder, elbow, palm, shoulder, elbow, palm. Shoulder, elbow, palm, shoulder, elbow, palm. Shoulder, elbow, palm, shoulder, elbow, palm. And eventually you're just going to relax with it. You can think of it as just kind of drawing a circle with your right hand or patting the back wall. So if we combine it with the left, it's the same. It's essentially shoulder press, roll back. Shoulder press, and as that shoulder rolls back, it's like you're letting the energy fall off of your arm. So shoulder press forward, roll the energy out. Shoulder press forward, roll. So it's 1, 2, 3, shoulder, elbow, palm. 1, 2, 3, shoulder, elbow, palm. Shoulder, elbow, palm, shoulder, elbow, palm. Shoulder, elbow, palm, shoulder, elbow, palm. Shoulder, elbow, palm. Relax. So then we'll go. Then the trick is to do them at the same time, or actually not the same time, but alternating. So after one starts, as it's finishing, the other one's starting. To where you're always doing half A on one side and half B on the other side. So you can, I like to think of it as alternating shoulder presses. So that's actually something you can practice on its own. Shoulder press forward, roll back, left press forward, roll back, right press forward, roll back, left press forward, roll back, right press forward, roll back, left press. So you can think of it just in terms of the shoulders at first and then try to just let it trickle off your whole arms. But essentially that shoulder press, that alternating shoulder press that you see me doing now, always is there. Shoulder press, roll down, shoulder press, roll down, left shoulder press, roll down, right shoulder press, roll down, left, right, left. So there you go, there's your arm undulations. You can also think of it, if you want to think of it, it's almost as good to think of it in terms of your elbow, as you have a fishing line attached to your elbow, and God's holding your fishing line, and He's pulling that string that's hooked to your right elbow, and then He's pulling that string that's hooked to your left elbow. So it's basically alternating pulls of the elbow from heaven. So pull up, pull left, pull right up, pull left up. So you can think of it that way too. It's both happening at the same time. And there's essentially, just to relax with it and feel the never-ending wave, that's where you're trying to go for. Now, for your high arm undulations, it's the same thing, although it just kind of feels and looks a little different. But you still have all the same articulation. You can think of this one as instead the shoulder is pressing and rolling back, but sometimes it's almost like pressing out more just because your arms are up, it just feels different. So it feels as though it's start dislocating out and then rolling, tucking behind the spine. Dislocating out, rolling, tucking behind. As the shoulder is pressing out or pressing forward, you're going to flex your wrist. And as that shoulder is rolling back, tucking behind the spinal cord, you're going to pull back on your wrist.
So the elbow is not up.
It's sort of to the back. Because up here it can't, up here it just feels different. But it is still sort of out to the up and back. Okay? So out and back, and out and back, and push and pull, and push and pull. Push and pull. So here we have the other arm. So again, shoulder blade goes forward, and you're right, elbow still is a nice, it's just, you can't see it the same. But the elbow should be kind of up and back, and a flex of the wrist. And then as the shoulder rolls back, it's a pull of the wrist. Flex, pull. Flex, pull. Good. Flex, good. Pull. And again, the trick is to alternating. So as one shoulder is dislocating out, the other shoulder is tucking back behind the spinal cord. So as the left shoulder is dislocating out, the right shoulder is tucking behind the spinal cord. And over and over. And again, you're right. Keep those elbows nice and high and up and back. And you're like seaweed underwater, just sort of gradually waving from the right to left. Good. Using the wrists always. And that's it. We would do mediums and we do highs. And you can rotate as you're doing them. You should be able to sort of seamlessly go from mediums to highs. And don't worry, be patient with yourself. It takes a long time to gather these skills all in one hat. Now, let's see what's next. We got the floreos. So the floreos, we start practicing from a nice medium neutral where your hands are resting on like a high tabletop. So the elbows and the arms never go below this 90-degree angle that your body makes with your underarm. So we pretend we have a high tabletop there that we can never dip below, and our arms are just resting on top, like on the surface of the water or something. And so as we come and we grab our hourglasses, our imaginary hourglasses, we're going to grab them with our thumb and our long finger, pinch them, flip them over, place them down, and then we reach around to do it again. Pinch to grab, turn over, place down, reach around. Pinch to grab, turn over, place down, reach around. Pinch to grab, turn over, place down, reach around. Now here we just sort of we want to highlight the wrists to make this not so much a two-dimensional move where we're just turning and flipping, but a three-dimensional move. So we're going to grab the hourglasses, and as we lift the hourglasses to flip them over, we're going to pull our wrists, place the hourglass down, and as we reach around, do it again, we're going to push or flex our wrists out. So we'll reach around, grab, pull the wrist, place it down, flex the wrist, grab it and pull as we lift up, and flex as we reach around, and beautiful, and flex. Good. Very good. And again, this is a movement that we should be able just to do over and over. There's no start or finish. We just keep on pulling and pushing in a seamless circle round and round. And we can move our arms as we do this. We can move the right one up. This is a very common position, is to have the right arm up and the left one still staying at neutral. We can layer it over a body wave, which we'll go over in a second. Or we can just do arm embellishments. We can do it overhead, like this. Overhead, here's grabbing, picking it up to flip it around, placing it down, reaching around. So wrist pull, wrist push. Grab it, pick it up, flip it over, reach around. Grab it, pick it up, flip it over, reach around. Grab it, pick it up, flip it over, reach around. Grab it, pull the wrist, put it down, flex, reach around. Grab it, lift it, pull, put it down, flex, reach around. So it's a little more awkward above your head, but it's the same motion. Now, as we're doing the floreos, we have what we call arm embellishments. When you do an arm embellishment, we typically always use our right arm first. You're basically going to draw a circle around yourself with your right arm, making sure to cross the center line of the body with your right arm. So don't just come down the middle, but cross your body with the right arm. seamlessly doing the Florios. But then when the left comes, we're going to go down the midline of our body. But because of our posture, which is always facing this angle, it looks like we're sort of on the outside of our body. But really, we're falling down the center line of our body. So again, that posture that I was mentioning, we don't usually stay flat to the mirror. Sometimes when we're learning we do. But typically we want our hips facing what we call our dancer's angle, which is our front left angle. This is where our lead dancer always dances, so it makes it easy to see her out of our peripheral vision. So because we get used to this position, that's why it's sort of better visually to cross the center line of the body with the right arm and then go down the center line of the body with the left arm. And again, you always start with the right arm. So we cross the center line with the right arm and we go down the center line of the body with the left arm. I think we did, let's see. Did we do this week? No, I think that. Not yet. So this is one move that you can use Florios. I'll just stick it on the video for you. It's called the rainbow. You just use your Florios so you can get your Florios going. You're going to sit in your left hip as you rainbow the right hand over. And then you're going to draw the right hand over your head and gradually look to the center. Then you do the other side. Rainbow it over to meet the left hand, and then rainbow it back overhead all the way back to center. Okay, so let's go back over now. Those are some upper body arm things that we do in level 1. The most important lower body thing is the tuck seam. So the tuck seam, I'm thinking, hopefully it's getting a good angle for me here, but where it can see me in the mirror. I think it does. We're going to, basically the tuck seam we'll just demonstrate is a dropping of the hips on both sides. You can think of it as like drawing a figure 8, an infinity symbol, that kind of a figure 8 with your hips. It dips to the right, circles over, dips to the left, circles over, dips to the right, circles over, dips to the left, circles over. What makes ours different from other types of belly dance is it's very grounded. My knees are very bent the whole time that I'm doing this. My heels don't come off the floor. Everything's very bent. What I want you to do is start with all your weight in your left leg and drop your right hip forward. So it's like you want to drop your hip so much that you're basically making a straight line on this side and a very curved line on this side. So you should feel it in your left hip flexor. You should feel a strain there. And you should be straightening that line as much as possible. All your weight should be in your left leg. Then you're going to sweep it out, and as the right hip comes to its highest position, you're going to then take the weight on your right leg. Now with the weight on your right leg, you're going to drop your left hip, making a straight line on your left side. And then sweep it up at its highest point of the left hip, then you'll take the weight. So drop, sweep on the right, drop, sweep on the left, drop, sweep on the right, drop, sweep, drop, sweep, drop, sweep, drop, sweep, drop, sweep. So again, you're just trying to drop the hips. You can practice just going back and forth between these two positions. I'll show you what I'll do it with my skirt tone a few times. Drop, sweep, drop, sweep, drop, sweep, drop, sweep. We can do it with the arm undulation so that as the right hip comes up, that right fingertip is also coming up. It's like you hit the back wall and then you draw your fingertips up. It's almost like you have a string connected from your fingertips to your hip so that you're pushing back as that hip's pushing down. And then when you go to relax the palm, it brings the hip up. So I'm like pulling that string, pulling the string attached from my fingertips to my hip. So that you have it, so that they kind of mesh nicely. So again, boop, boop. You see like the imaginary string? Pulling the string, pulling the string, pulling and pulling. We can also do it with Florios. This is actually a little more advanced for level 1, but just to throw it on there for you, you get the Florios going. And if you think of your Florios in terms of the wrists pulling and pushing, then you're going to do your right tuck seam on the pushing side and your left tuck seam on the pulling side. pushing with the wrists, pulling with the wrists, right hip down, left hip down, pushing right, pulling left side, pushing hip right, pulling hip left, pushing hip right, pulling hip left. So the other one that we did, we mentioned it briefly when we did this, is the body wave. This is the other major slow movement. There's two major slow movements. The tocsin, which is like the little figure 8, the infinity symbol that we're drawing with our hips. The other is the body wave. The body wave, to demonstrate, is here. And here I'm layering it with floreos, but just the move in and of itself is here. So you're going to start by bringing your rib cage straight out on a plane parallel to the floor. So you bring your rib cage straight out, then up, then back on a diagonal. You kind of like deflate your chest. I even exhale sometimes. Back on a diagonal, and then you just reset to a neutral position. So forward, up, back, reset. Forward, up, back, reset. Forward, up, back, reset. Forward, up, back, reset. And you can feel boop, 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 boop. You can sort of feel after a while that your muscles have to articulate upper, middle, lower, like a little wave that runs through your abdominal muscles. So again, usually we layer this with the arms in what we call arm position 2 with floreos. It's like you're pulling, if you want to think in terms of wrist pulling, wrist pushing, wrist pulling, wrist pushing. You're going to pull on the first half of the body wave, so you're going to pull forward and up. And then by the time you get to the second half, you're going to push away, push back and reset. So pull forward and up, push back and reset. Pull forward and up, push back and reset. Pull, push. So then there were two moves that we sort of call combinations because they're not just basic mechanical moves, but they're sort of a sequence of steps. So these two combinations were the camel, which involves the basic mechanic of the torso rotation. And then we also did the reverse turn, where we stick our right foot behind our left and unwind and end with a body wave, usually. So let's go over those two really quick. First of all, the camel, to show you the footwork, you're going to prep by picking up your right foot, and then you step on it. That's like the first part of the move. Second part of the move, I slide my left foot back. Let me get up a little bit so the camera can see me. Slide my left foot back. And then that third part of the move, I'm going to just bring my foot back to center, back to neutral. And then I end with a torso twist. So again, the footwork. I begin by lifting up, and it's a little like precursor to the move. And step 1, step 2, step 3. One more time. And step 1, step 2, and step 3. Very good. And so the arms, you're going to start with your hands in neutral, and you just do and 1. So as you step on the right foot, the left arm comes high. And you can see the wrist, the variation in the wrist. For the second part of the move, as the left foot slides back, the arms switch. Good. And for the third part of the move, they come back to neutral. Good. So let's try all that again from the beginning. And left arm up first, switch. Right arm up, and back to neutral. One more time. And left arm up, and right arm up, and back to neutral. So again, left arm first. Ready? And left arm up, right arm up, and back to neutral. And then we normally end with a torso twist. So here's the torso twist to demonstrate. The torso twist is accomplished by twisting. You can twist your upper half of your body either like this, okay? So you're going to twist it about 45 degrees so that you can slide it over to the left front corner, your dancer's angle corner. And so that's your beginning move, and you're going to make a half circle all the way around back to where you end on the other side, the opposite of the side you started. Twisted and slid to the right hand front corner. Okay, so again, you can twist and you can slide. This move uses both of those. So we're going to twist 45 degrees and slide, all in the same breath. And then swing around until we're the opposite of that front move. Twisted and slid to the right hand corner. And you have an arm undulation layered on top of this, but instead of starting with the right, left, like we always do, we're going to start with the left and the right because the move starts to the left. So we're going to push that shoulder forward, elbow up on the left side, and then by the time we get around, we have our shoulder forward, elbow up on the right side, right? And then come back to neutral. So again, shoulder forward, elbow up, rib cage slid and twisted to the front left-hand side, all the way around. Shoulder forward, elbow up, rib cage slid and twisted to the right-hand side, and relax. So here we go without talking. And you notice that the head follows with the motion. So when I'm this way, my head's looking over in this direction, and when I'm this way, it's looking over here. Good. So let's try the whole camel with the torso rotation at the end.
Here, there is a question. When you do the torso rotation, how do you put the feet?
No, they're on the floor.
On the floor.
Yep. So it's all in the upper body. That's why they call it the torso rotation. So this is fairly, I mean, your weight's going to shift. I'd say your weight's more in your left foot on this side, and it's more in your right. But no movement. Just a little difference in weight, in carrying the weight. So here we go again with the whole camel, including the torso rotation. And step on the right, lift the left arm, switch, and neutral, and torso twist. Again. And left arm up, switch, together, torso twist. And left arm, and torso twist. Good, very good. And the other move in the slow was the reverse turn. So the reverse turn, the reason we call it a reverse turn, just talk about the feet first, is because usually in ATS we always turn. We haven't done a lot of these turns yet, but you will see that 99% of the time we're going to put our right foot over our left and just unwind. And then just replace your right foot. Well, this is the one turn that would do the opposite of that. Instead of putting right foot in front, unwind, we're going to put right foot in back, unwind. Okay? And so hopefully you can do that just in one motion, but if you need to take 2 or 3 steps for the time being, that's okay. You'll learn how to do it in one motion eventually. So that's all there is to the footwork. The arms, you're going to do a florio overhead first. We almost always do a florio overhead before doing any kind of turn in the slow format. This is almost like code for, hey y'all, we're going to do a turn now. So we do one florio overhead, and then as we put the right foot behind the left foot, we also bring the right hand down by the right hip and do a florio there. And then we turn with our hands frozen in place. Once we're done with the turn, we can finish it off with a body wave, a standard body wave with a florio like we practiced. So again, one florio overhead, put right foot in back of left, right florio there, unwind with the arms in the same place, and then they switch. They almost call it a zipper arms because they switch places. One goes up, one goes down, body wave, you're done. So florio, right foot behind left, unwind, and a body wave. One more time, florio overhead, right foot behind left foot, unwind, and body wave. I think that's it. We can also do just a simple slow turn, a regular turn, not a reverse turn. And we can put our hands here. Okay?
So the regular turn, you just put it here and
Yep.
then here,
Yep.
and you have to shape. Right?
Yep. And then you got to finish it off.
Finish off.
Yep.
Okay. So the body is in the center. It's
Yeah.
not on either foot.
No.
Okay.
Right.
Just like that.
And replace the foot. Yeah.
The reverse is more, it's like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's essentially the same, probably just feels a little different doing the reverse. Okay, any particular one of those moves you want to go over?
Let's see. Yeah, that